Welcome to the Meet Mentor YouTube channel. Tim Grover, who is the trainer of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, was in town today, and something very emotional happened. He wrote a book titled Relentless, which is coming out winning, and he did his first live interview in Boca Raton. As we're sitting down to talk, one of the chapters on page 103 of his book comes to mind. Have you ever had an idea and you don't know who to turn to? Do you want a mentor to accommodate you? We have a selection of mentors you could choose from. And if you want more of this content, like, comment, and subscribe to the Meet Mentor YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. On page 103, he discusses how winning is selfish and that there is no such thing as balance in winning. He then tells a story about a time when he was packing his bags and preparing to travel when his 5-year-old daughter asked him, "Daddy, where are you going?" He replied, "Daddy is traveling," and the girl asked, "Where are you going?" In this book, he claims that she said something to him that was the worst things I've ever heard in my whole life. I'm prefacing what he says, but that's essentially what he's talking about. When Tim's daughter sees him, she asks, "Daddy, if I eat less, would you stay at home more?" Did you hear what I just said? She was attempting to get my attention by implying that if I eat less, you'll see me more often. I asked him this question while reading his book, which is sitting right in front of me. You'll see how moved he is. I'm moved by it. I have a 4-year-old daughter who will be 5 in the coming weeks. I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and these are my kids, whom I adore. I asked him, "How did you handle that?" He replied, "It wasn't easy. I thought about it all day." However, he added, "I packed the bags and still went on the road because I was traveling with Michael for 15 years. Because he was constantly traveling, all I could think about was her." He says the daughter responded, "You don't have to explain to me, Daddy. I know exactly why you did what you did. It's because you're going after your dreams. You're doing this. You're doing that." She added, "I'm pursuing my dreams now, and if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had that example." Years later, he says, he asked her, "Hey, I want to explain to you why I did that. Are you willing to bravely chase your dreams? Kindly like this video." So I asked, how do you process this? And how many of us hit the wall when we get to a point where our daughter, son, or someone else doesn't even know they're doing what they're doing? It gives you that guilt and you hear, "I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing," so I went a little bit deeper. You know we're talking about Kobe and Michael Jordan here, says yes. I mentioned that the idea of feeling guilty because of your children, parents, wife, spouse, or someone else is the one that someone else can persuade you to make. By this, I meant that I can persuade you to stop feeling sorry and instead pursue your aspirations. He said, "No, that's a choice only you can make." We went to Louis Bossi and were eating there with myself, him, and Paula, and we had a great time. One of the best lunches we ever had. We developed a very good connection, so I said, "I'm going to tell you a story about my dad." And he said, "Yeah, what's that about?" I said, "I agree never to attempt to convince a person to spend less time with their wife, or their kids or anything. It's more a decision you have to make." I recalled that when I had my son Sam, he was around 6 months old. I went to my father and said, "Dad, when I lived in Iran with you, you would travel, you would work. You'd leave at 5 in the morning, you'd come home at 8:30. And you expected us to be in bed by 8, adding that, because of your standards, we wouldn't see you on Fridays in Iran, which were this Saturday or Sunday here. You would wake us up at 6 in the morning, take us to Park Shahanshahi, take us to a Syrian church, take us to Grandma's house to eat her food, and then bring us back home where you would take a 2-hour nap while listening to your music through headphones. With the old music he would listen to, have dinner, watch a movie, and then put us to bed. Did your dad make you feel safe and well too?" If you appreciate our content, subscribe to the Meet Mentor YouTube channel. I asked him, "Dad, when I calculate the days you spend with us in 10 years that we lived in Iran together when you and Mom were still together, it's 52 days a year multiplied by 10,520 days out of 3,650 days. You had 3,650 days in 10 years. But you only saw us for 520 days. Did it bother you? Do you ever regret that as a father?" Without any hesitation, I don't know what he's going to tell me like I'm 33 years old. Do you have any remorse? I said, do you wish you would have worked less so you could spend more time with us? He replied, zero. I responded, come on. You can't tell me that. He continued, I'm telling you zero. What is my responsibility as a father? Isn't it my duty to instill in you the values of independence and strength, so that you can care for your own family without needing anybody else's help? If you can't stand on your own 2 feet, isn't that a father's responsibility? I said that's very good to hear because as a man, now that I'm getting through the next phase, I like hearing that from my own father. He replied, yes, how are you doing? I said then, I did my job right. I'm independent. I did my job right. I don't regret any of it. I enjoyed every minute I had with you guys. I had so much fun with you on Paulette. But I said, I want to tell you something as well. He asks what's that? I said it's strange that I'm 33 thinking about this. I'm 42 now when I talk about this. I was 33. I said that I am 33 years old, sitting here with you, and that I have no regrets over your absence. What do you mean? He asks. My dad worked to provide for me, and I was fortunate to have a father who did so. I said I wanted you to know from me that I also don't feel guilty for you. I said I saw other dads who weren't workers and sometimes they didn't have money and they were going through challenges. My daddy worked to provide. I have kids, I'm going through it, and my dad and I have a great relationship, so let me wrap this up. So you kind of get the idea what the point is. Patrice asks Allison why she didn't feel guilty, and the former responds by saying that if you're away from your family or you're at a bar getting wasted, you're a bad dad. However, if you're with them and not doing those things, you're not a bad dad. Due to the fact that you aren't in a position of power, why would you choose to spend time with your children over drinking and going out to a bar? Why wouldn't you want to be there and start hanging out and doing other types of things instead? He didn't imply you're terrible. Rather, his argument was that because you have the choice, why not spend more time with your children? Nevertheless, he said, if you must spend time away from your children, you must succeed because that is the only way they would forgive you. Do you have time for your children? If you appreciate our content, subscribe to the Meet Mentor YouTube channel. Hence, Kobe's children adored him. The children of anyone who performs at the highest level, including Michael's, at least sit there and say that even though daddy was away, even though mommy was away, he or she used at times wisely to win. Then, when there are experiences, you remind them, look where we are. This is because mommy and daddy worked very hard, so you know I was going through this. Everyone can offer advice, and I can tell you what to do, but ultimately you have to make that decision for yourself. I chose to pursue my vision because, in the long run, I'd like to be able to set up a position where these kids are in business with me in many, many different ways. They don't have to do the same thing all the time. Yet because of the choices he's making now, I'd want for our family to be closer in the long run. With that in mind, I believe that for the appropriate individual, this movie may start them thinking about some of the greater choices they need to make in their lives. That concludes today's video, then. Give this video a like, comment, and if you found it interesting, subscribe to our channel for more videos with similar themes. Till then, bye. I'll see you in the next video entitled, The Most Terrifying Question Everyone Should Ask Themselves.